Most Rome 2 campaigns are won or lost in the first 20 turns, and these 5 mistakes are exactly why newer players fall behind before they even realize it. Number 1. Not attacking immediately. It's astonishing how many players think they need to recruit to full stack before even thinking of going to war with someone. This is a big mistake. The sooner you take your second settlement, the sooner you start improving public order, replenishing your troops, making money off that settlement, and getting ready to go to war again. Every turn you delay these benefits compounds and actually makes a massive difference throughout the whole campaign. For example, as Carthage, the right strategy is to attack Thapsus and take it on turn 1. Even if you only wait 1 turn, that means you take Thapsus a turn later, but you also take Lepsis a turn later, Macomades a turn later. You lose 1 turn of income from each of these cities, and you give your opponent more time to recruit troops, and the final army from Nova Carthago will actually be massively stronger by 6 units if you wait just a single turn. Now, if you can attack on turn 1, you always should. If you can fairly reasonably beat the opponent, this is the right strategy. Now, if you can't reach the enemy on turn 1, the second best time to attack is on turn 2, and this gives you massive advantage and is often even better than attacking on turn 1, because you get to complete your first round of recruitment while AI is still waiting for theirs. So here as Arverni, we loaded up on 4 Celtic warriors, while AI still only has their starting army of 4 troops. This actually gives us massive advantage, and we can tilt the odds by simply grabbing a couple of mercs or bringing second general. Now, what happens if you wait even a single turn? Especially on legendary difficulty, AI actually recruits 2 extra units per turn. If you don't attack them on turn 2, by turn 3 AI will get 6 extra units. You will get another 4, but instead of having 4 unit advantage if you attack on turn 2, you will only have 2 units advantage on turn 3. If you wait until turn 4, you have no advantage whatsoever, and if you wait beyond turn 4, actually odds tilt in their favor because they out-recruit you massively. Number 2. Not securing your starting province. There are absolutely massive benefits from holding the entirety of your starting province. Not only you get building synergies, bonuses synergies, recruitment synergies, you only need, for example, 1 temple to provide public order in all regions, essentially province-wide, whereas, for example, as Carthage, we start with multiple regions, like 1 region per province in multiple different provinces. To get the same public order boost, we need to build a temple in every single one of them, which is a massive waste. Whereas if we instead consolidate and hold the entirety of Africa province, a single temple is providing public order everywhere, and the single barracks allow us to recruit units in any region of that same province. I cannot stress how important is it to uniting your starting province first and foremost before going anywhere else. Sometimes it's actually very straightforward. For example, as Rome, you started war with Etruscans owning the other half of Italia, so conquering them is actually a very straightforward proposition. Some other factions, however, either started war with someone else, like in the example of Arverni, we started war with Aedui, who own a region in a different province, or as Carthage over here, we actually start allied with Libya. If that is the case, don't hesitate breaking alliances. You will need to do this eventually anyway, and the best time to do that is early game. Yeah, we do drop from reliable to untrustworthy, which means no one will want to sign any deals with us, but that actually is irrelevant. The only deals we really care about are trade agreements, and we don't even have a trading resource here. And by the time we actually get one and meet enough people who want to trade with us to make trade worthwhile, this hit to diplomacy will actually go away. Number 3. Hiring too many troops. This is very counterintuitive. Normally you want to have sufficient advantage as to minimize losses. However, early game money is extremely tight, and any spare funds should be invested in economy, so you should always try to do the job with the least number of units you can get away with. For example, as Carthage, if we attack Thapsus, we can't win with the starting army, and we already know we shouldn't delay attack even waiting 1 more turn, as going to put us at disadvantage. So what we need is hire just enough to be able to comfortably win this battle, and that means, first of all, putting a general with elephants in charge. That costs us nothing, and secondly, hiring a single merc. Always look at what the enemy has, try to imagine how the battle will play out, and hire only enough to beat them comfortably. In this case, all we need is a single Skutarikav that only costs 400 gold. And we can actually, despite autoresolve giving us no chance, we can actually win this very comfortably if we play this manually, because Skutarikav is enough to run down all the ranged units, while Elephant is enough to beat the hoplites. Number 4. Wrong research priorities. Most of the trees are player trap. The only 2 you should concern yourself early game is the first military tree that unlocks barracks, and the middle civic tree, philosophy, that unlocks bonuses to public order, taxes, and unlocks dignitaries. Everything else is a distraction. In particular, tactics is amalgamation of small bonuses that only matter once you have multiples of them, and because these are small percentage bonuses, you need big units with big stats to actually take advantage of them. Plus, the buildings that give bonuses to your troops require provincial capital with enough space to actually build them. Siege is a waste of time. You should only ever grab workshops so you can build ballista, and everything else needs to wait. Economy only matters in late game, where you can actually both build these buildings and have enough wealth to take advantage of that. And construction is a massive waste of time. Most of the time you're perfectly happy with tier 2 buildings throughout the whole campaign. Most civilized factions want to unlock tier 2 units and champs, then go for dignitaries, and then go back to military tree and unlock tier 3 units because they are game changers. With barbarians, it's actually slightly different. Most barbarian tier 2 units are actually crap. As Arverni, for example, we unlock spear warriors, which are very underwhelming, but tier 3 gives us amazing chosen swords which are strong enough to carry you through the whole campaign. At the same time, unlocking dignitaries is much more difficult because we need an extra 8 turns to get there. So instead of going for tier 2 then dignitary then tier 3 as barbarians, you actually want to go right for tier 3 barracks, with added benefit of also unlocking proving grounds, which is an extremely important building that massively boosts your tier 3 units, and only then go for dignitaries. And if you can spare a couple of turns, at some point you want to get woodworker or engineering workshop. And finally, probably the biggest mistake of them all, auto-resolving early battles. This one is absolutely massive. I know it's very tempting to just hire enough to be able to auto-resolve every single battle in the game, but there is time to auto-resolve and there's time to play your battles manually. You do not want to auto-resolve early. For auto-resolve to make sense, you want to have big units with big stats that actually weight more in auto-resolve than AIC units, which usually means at least tier 2s if not 3s. And you want to stack multiple replenishment bonuses. Early game you have none of that. Unless we are talking about single digit losses, you will take forever to recover and it will set your campaign back massively by several turns. Let's take this example. Playing as Carthage and attacking Thapsus on turn 1. We can't win this in manual battle, we've already established it, but if we replace a general and hire a single Scutari Cav, we can win this battle perfectly easy with minimal losses, which means we can immediately recruit 3 more units and crack on at Lepsis and take it on turn 3. If we instead want to auto-resolve it, not only we need to load up on mercenaries, spending very valuable resources that can be instead invested in buildings, but also even if losses appear small, look, this is as good as it gets, 20% losses. Look what happened if you auto-resolve this. Elephants got wrecked, right? This always happens. Because of the way auto-resolve works, losses are disproportionately allocated to cavalry, elephants and chariots. And these are the units that are most valuable and you want to preserve them at all cost. Look, with this crappy replenishment it will take us 8 turns to replenish the elephants, whereas if you play this manually we wouldn't have lost a single one. And always playing your battles manually, at least in the early game, allows you to snowball really fast, really hard. It amplifies all the previous points. If you play your battles manually, you can attack immediately on turn 1 or 2. You secure starting province faster because you don't wait for replenishment. And you can get away with hiring fewer troops and instead invest your scarce early funds into economy. Avoiding these 5 early game mistakes will let you supercharge your campaign. Subscribe!